Ladies and gentlemen, the Ned Rig. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you for clicking on another video. Welcome to all the new subscribers, because there have been new subscribers just about every week since I've started posting videos more often. So that's pretty great. So welcome all the new subscribers. If you are new and not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you hit the upward thumb button. Make sure you turn on the bell notification so that you don't miss any of these videos. And welcome. Today we're talking about the Ned Rig. I promised in a TikTok that I made last week, which you should go follow me there if you don't, that I would go more in depth and talk about the Ned Rig and how I like to fish it, combos, setups, terminal, all that good stuff. So we're going to do that now, and I'll start with my combos that I will throw Ned Rigs on. So typically, well, not typically, it's always spinning gear. I throw Ned Rigs on spinning gear. I know people like to throw them on BFS systems, bait cast finesse systems, and I'm not against that. I have one. I just have not really used it at all. I'm way more confident throwing it on spinning gear. So I have two combos that I throw the Ned Rig on. It just depends on which one I have with me. Both of them are 7-foot medium fast rods with, I believe they're 5 or 6 to 1 gear ratio, obviously spinning reels. One is a size 2000, one is a size 3000. There's no rhyme or reason for that. It's just the reel that I have. They have different size line on them because the reels are different sizes. So the 2000 has like a, I believe 8-pound test, and I think the 3000 has 10-pound test on it, both monofilament. I'm not like a huge braid to fluoro or braid to mono, like leader kind of guy. I have one combo that I do have that set up on, but most of my spinning combos I just do monofilament. I've always done that my whole life. It's just what I do. Like I said before, there's no rhyme or reason to really any of this. It's just my preferences and how I like to fish things. So I've got those two combos that I use for, well, all of my finesse fishing really, but especially my Ned Rigs. So plastics that I will use, like I mentioned in that TikTok, I like the Rabbit Baits craw right here. I've got a bunch of different colors of this. It's just a little crawdad that stands up. It has horsehair on the claws. It gives it some nice subtle action. You can see it dancing there a little bit. It does that really well under the water. It's small, so it's not intimidating for any of the bass or any of the fish I'm trying to catch. So it's a good size. It has good action to it. Like I said, a lot of good colors that this comes in. I joined the Rabbit Baits Pro Staff last year, and I was stoked about it because I love their soft plastics, particularly for finesse fishing. But they have some good terminal as well. So that's probably my go-to actually right now for Ned Rigs, is gonna be this Rabbit Baits craw. They have a worm as well, just called the foxtail, I believe. That's also really good, but I really like the craw better. The next one is Yum Helgermite. This is a 3-inch Helgermite. I think it's a new release from Yum. I got about 4 different colors of this. I think there's more than that, but I got about 4 different colors. Helgermites are like a slept-on creature bait, or a worm, really. It looks more like a worm, even though it's kind of a creature bait. But I think it's kind of slept on. It's a natural forage species for all different species of fish, so you can catch literally anything on it. Not a lot of people are throwing them. There's not a ton of brands that make Helgermite plastics. Now there are a handful of them, with Yum, being the newest one. But not a lot of brands are making them yet. So they're still kind of one of those sneaky plastics. Almost dropped it there. Still one of those like sneaky kind of style baits that I think you can still get away with throwing a lot of different ways and catch fish, because they haven't really seen a lot of it yet. I mean, natural ones, yeah, but not as lures. So I love the Yum Helgermite. I also have the Tackle HD Helgermite in like a few different sizes. So I use this like presentation in all different kinds of ways, but I really love it on a Ned Rig, especially if it's a good Ned hook that stands up straight, and you get that Hellgrammite standing up. I just think a bass can't resist it. They'll just see it and have to eat it almost. So always in my box, whenever I'm planning on throwing a Ned rig, I always have some of those handy. And then the last one, not my last one, but my last of like my top 3 favorite plastics for Ned rigs, it's gonna be the X Zone Hot Shot Minnow. Now X Zone also has a Ned worm that's really good as well. I have a bunch of different colors of that one. But I think the Hot Shot Minnow is like another sneaky Ned rig bait, because it just looks like a little minnow. That little tail right there it's really soft and flappy, so it just moves all over the place on the water. I think they designed this minnow with a drop shot in mind, and in my opinion, drop shot, anything you could throw in a drop shot, you can put on a shaky head or a Ned rig, in my opinion. So that's why I tried this on a Ned rig once, and was really satisfied with the action, with how it worked, the fish I caught. Like, I was really happy with it, so I just started doing it more. X Zone has these in tons of different colors, and this is a 3.25. So that's the other thing. When you're throwing Ned rigs, if you're kind of new to it, stay under 3.5 inches with any plastic you have, because the presentation is supposed to be small. It's supposed to be a finesse presentation. It's supposed to be something that's not going to intimidate any of the fish you're trying to catch, right? So you want it to be small so that you can catch a lot of different things. It should be a go-to, like if the bite is tough, you just cannot catch fish, you go to the Ned rig, right? And so you're wanting something small that those finicky fish that are really hesitant to eat, maybe a moving bait or a large jig or a bigger Texas rig, they might just attack a smaller soft plastic in a Ned rig or a shaky head. So you want to keep it around, in my opinion, 3 to 3.5 inches is what I typically stick with. This is right in that range, 3.25 inches. They come in tons of different colors. This one is green pumpkin blue flake. It's one of my favorite colors, but they make them in like, I want to say 15 or 20 different colors. So they'll have you covered there. All right, so moving on to terminal then. So what makes a Ned rig is the hook that you throw it on. Otherwise it's a different rig, right? These are, I don't know how well you can see them. Camera's not gonna focus on them very well. Maybe if I just hold them back here, I don't know. It's just not gonna focus very well. So I have the Rabid Baits EWG Ned head. This is a 1/8 ounce. It's what I typically throw, an 1/8 ounce Ned rig most of the time. So this is great. It's an EWG, so you can rig the plastic straight up here, just like a Texas rig, so that it is weedless. It's great for what I'm fishing a lot of times. It's rock and it's timber, so lots of snags where I'm fishing. So EWG Ned heads are very helpful in keeping it weedless, helping me to snag less and lose fewer Ned heads, because they're not super expensive depending on the ones that you get and the ones you use, but you just don't want to lose them if you don't have to. And so these are great, these Rabid Baits EWG Ned hooks. And like I said, again, Rabid Baits, great for finesse fishing. If you are a finesse fisherman, you need to check out rabidbaits.com. Like I said, I'm on the pro staff. I don't have like a discount code or anything. I'm just on the staff because I love the products and love working with those guys. So first hook that I typically always have with me, it's really my go-to Ned rig hook, Rabid Baits EWG. Like I said, I use the 1/8 ounce green pumpkin head. This other one that I showed you is the Owner Blockhead, I believe that's called. But it's the Owner like Ned rig jig head. This one here is a 3/32 ounce. Now this is a super finesse one. I keep these with me and I use them pretty often, but I'm using this super clear water and situations where I know the bass are not really eating because I want their to be as little weight as possible to drag that Ned rig down to the bottom. I want basically the plastic to be the only weight to the rig. So the good thing about these owner ones is that the hooks are really sharp. The bad part about them is they are not weedless. So that's going to be an exposed hook rig. It's got a good bait keeper right there. The head is really good. It stands up pretty well. Even when it gets down to the bottom, it's got just enough weight so that it sinks to the bottom and will stand up well. Bait keeper there to keep your plastic on it really well, and a really good hook. But I'm really using this, and I have a larger size, I think also an 1/8 ounce of these. Like I said, this is the 332nd. I'm typically using these when I'm in more open water with fewer snags and less rocky bottom. Just because I don't like fishing exposed hook rigs when I know that there are snags down there. I typically prefer to stick with the EWG, but I will use this one if I know that there are not a lot of snags along the bottom, and like I said, super finicky situations where I just need to really slow it down and I'm really wanting it to fall slowly, right? Because a lot of times a Ned rig, you'll get hit on the fall. You can get hit while you're working it, right? Or just dead sticking it, or any of the ways that you're fishing it. But a lot of times you'll get hit on the fall. So something like this that just is super light and just doesn't fall very fast can actually help you hook up with some of those fish that aren't eating quite as well. Another hook that I will use a lot of times, but I didn't have any in my box right now. I just must have run out. Is the Eagle Claw Pro V jig head as well. It's their Ned rig style hook, and again, 1/8 ounce black or green pumpkin heads on all of these. Green pumpkin more than black, but I'll also use a black head on any of these rigs here. But there you go, Ned rigs. The way that I'll fish, or the gear for the Ned rigs, the way that I'll fish a Ned rig is a few different ways. So I will hop it like a jig or a Texas rig on the bottom. If I'm fishing the EWG one, or if I don't have a lot of snags or cover or anything like that, it's more open water, I'll drag it. A lot of times I will dead stick it. So literally, if the bite is really tough, you throw it out, always let it sink to the bottom. Now, you can swim it as well if you listen to like Tackle Talk or any podcast or read anything that Ned Cady does, the guy who kind of made the Ned rig famous. It's named after him, Ned Cady. He will say that he swims his Ned rigs a lot of times. He doesn't let it hit the bottom. He's throwing it out and he's kind of swimming it in. And he might do different things with that retrieve, but he's really kind of swimming it in. You can certainly do that. He catches tons of fish that way. So that you can swim it, you can hop it, you can drag it, you can dead stick it. If you're not going to be swimming it, you need to let it sink all the way to the bottom and then just be patient. The name of the game with the Ned rig is patience. It's not a chatterbait, it's not a crankbait, it's not a spinnerbait or a buzzbait. You're not going to be throwing it out, retrieving it, throwing it out, retrieving it. It's a slow bait for a reason, because it's a finesse bait, right? You want it to be fished slow because you're using it. Usually when I'm using it because the bite is tough, right? I've only gotten a bite or two or none so far, and it's kind of my last resort, or it's my I know that they'll bite this, right? So I'm using it in situations where the bite is tough. So you don't want to fish it the same way as other baits. You want to fish it really slow, really patiently, and I think it will be something that you can build some confidence with if you give it time and be patient with it, right? I was talking to a guy at work who loves fishing the Ned rig a while back, and he said, however long you think you need to wait with the Ned rig, wait 5 or 10 more seconds. And I think that that's true. If you throw it out and you let it sink before you start dragging or before you hop it, wait. And then when you think you've waited long enough, wait 5 more seconds and then do it, right? Or just straight up dead stick it. 30 seconds at a time if you have to. Throw it out, let it sink, don't touch it. Just let it do its thing, because it's supposed to be a lure, it's supposed to be a presentation that doesn't have a lot of action, right? Just being there is kind of the point, and the bass are just searching and they find it and they eat it. So you don't have to find the fish, it will find your Ned Rig. So there you go, my Ned Rig setups, my favorites, as far as plastic terminal, all that goes, how I like to fish it. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have used the Ned Rig before, and if you have, how, what ways have you had success, what are your favorite plastics to use on it, what are your favorite hooks to use, what's your setup look like. Let me know all of that, because I'm certainly not a Ned Rig like master by any means. I still prefer the shaky head to the Ned Rig, but I know how much of a fish catcher the Ned Rig is. So my goal, my plan, my resolution really this year is to just really get a lot more confident with the Ned Rig, fish it a lot more, and make it one of my confidence baits, because it's one of those rigs I know it works. Everybody that's watching this up north will say, yeah, duh, why have you not fished it a whole lot more? And I'll just add, I've fished other things, but I'm planning this year, 2023, I'm going to fish the Ned Rig a whole lot more. So let me know down in the comments any of your tips, suggestions, your successes, how you fish it, all of that good stuff. Leave it down in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you are new. Make sure you got that bell notification on so you don't miss any of my videos, and make sure you like this video so that the algorithm tells other people that they should watch my videos. I don't know if other people should watch my videos, but I really would like them to. So if you like it, make sure you like the video so that other people can see it, because maybe they would like it too, right? That's the whole goal here. So do all those things: subscribe, bell notification, like, comment, all those things. Thanks for checking out another video, guys. We will see you next time. Bye.